Today on Public Eye News, the director of the DIFS appointed new leadership roles in the NAIC. But first, an update on ice in Minnesota.
Coming up, Kenneth Hickmott will give you your weather forecast, where we'll take out conditions for today and days to come. And later, I will take a look into today's sports breakdown. I'm Emma Maratz.
And I'm Bianca Kroll, and this is Public Eye News. The Michigan State Police Grants and Community Service Division is beginning to accept grant applications as part of the Burn State Crisis Intervention Program, or SCIP Phase 5. The Burn SCIP is furthering the U.S. Department of Justice and Bureau of Justice Assistance mission in achieving safer communities. They are assisting state, local, and tribal areas in the efforts of preventing crime and violence, more particularly related to gun violence. The funding is used to implement violence and prevention programs and related education. The focus is mostly based in Michigan to reduce gun violence. Colonel James F. Grady II said many prior grantees used the funding and delivered real results for their community. The webinar for the program will be held on March 31st to review eligibility, application, and grant requirement information. Governor Gretchen Whitmer has announced 2 business expansion projects in Muskegon and Washtenaw counties. More than $13.4 million in capital investment will be generated, and 115 good-paying jobs will be the result of those growth projects. Motive Bolding has created 90 new jobs and invested $8.9 million in Muskegon. Utilidata Inc. is expanding operations in Ann Arbor and created 25 new jobs and invested in over $4.4 million. Motive Bowling has had a 20% sales growth over the past several years and has been a dominant force in the industry. With this, the company is expecting to expand and have more space for jobs and business. Utilidata Inc. expansion is helping the company to further strengthen local partnerships and build their collaborations.
With the Super Bowl approaching over the weekend, the Michigan Gambling Control Board, or MGCB, is reminding Michigan residents to gamble responsibly. The MGCB has licensed operators available on their website for additional information or to check if a website is good to use. The MGCB released tips for gambling safely, including setting a budget, using a licensed operator, and to understand the game. There are additional resources available on the MGCB website, and people are able to contact 1-800-GAMBLER if they struggle with gambling addiction. The director of the Department of Insurance and Financial Services, DIFS, Annika Fox, has been selected to have several key roles in the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, or NAIC, and the International Association of Insurance Supervisors. These positions will have an impact on Michigan's role in insurance regulation. Director Fox will be the vice chair at the Life Insurance and Annuities Committee, a member of the International Insurance Relations Committee, and will be a voting representative on the NAIC's Government Relations Leadership Council. She will also be an NAIC Audit Committee representative. With the bitter cold temperatures we've had, you'd think ice on inland lakes is strong and sturdy, but that's not the case. Sister Lakes Fire Department, north of Dowagiac, responded to multiple calls over the weekend where people or vehicles fell through the ice. WSBT 22 Cicely Porter has what you need to know to stay safe.
A snowmobile, an ATV, and a person all going out onto the ice, only to fall in. Now firefighters are urging people to stay off the ice as it's unpredictable.
Stay off the lakes. That's the message being echoed by Sister Lake firefighters. They had a busy weekend, responding to people who went on the ice and fell through. Many think the ice on inland lakes is strong and sturdy with the frigid temperatures we've had lately, but that's not the case. One factor impacting ice thickness: snow.
The snow itself is a blanket. It's an insulator, and even if it could be -0, it could be right at 0 for days on end, and I mean it doesn't make a decent amount of ice.
One incident on Dewey Lake involving a side-by-side vehicle, but firefighters say they were called to different lakes in the area as well. Sister Lakes Fire Chief Anthony Lozada shares that many of the lakes in the area are spring-fed, which can weaken the ice and create thinner areas not visible from the surface.
It's spring-fed, you don't know where the springs are at, and that you could go from a foot of ice to 2 inches of ice and then back to a foot just because there's that spring there, and it keeps the water constantly moving.
If you do make your way onto the ice, there are safety measures you can take.
if you have a spud, check the ice. Just if it happens to go through on that first initial hit, turn around and go back. Just because there's guys out there doesn't mean they've possibly taken this path. They might have came out a different direction.
The Sister Lakes fire chief sharing the safest option, not going onto the ice at all.
If someone does fall through the ice, call 911 immediately. Do not try to rescue someone without the proper training or equipment. Reporting in Sister Lakes, Cicely Porter, WSBT 22 News.
Now don't touch that dial. Our very own Emma Maratz has your sports breakdown when we come back.
Killer whales are up at 11 o'clock.
Oh my gosh, there they are.
Killer whales are one of the most successful predators on the planet.
Here they come, here they come. This is going to be amazing.
But one tiny group in Antarctica hunts like no others.
Only a handful of people on this planet have actually
Welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Emma Maratz here with your Wednesday Sports Breakdown. Starting on the lacrosse pitch, the Northern Michigan University women's lacrosse team was chosen to finish second in the GLIAC coaches preseason poll, right behind Grand Valley State University. The woman to watch out for is junior Josie Lukoski, who was named GLIAC Attacker of the Year in 2025 and had a record-breaking season in 25 as well. Lukoski earned GLIAC honors 4 separate times during the season and broke the single-game point record twice. The team starts their season on February 13th at home against Calvin College, with conference play starting on March 20th. Moving to the court, the Detroit Pistons had a huge victory over the Denver Nuggets, with a very close score of 124 to 121. Detroit's Cade Cunningham had over 29 points and 10 assists during the game. Denver never held a lead during the game, but was within 5 points with less than 3 minutes left on the clock. Detroit's final points came within 33 seconds of the clock ending, with a final shot from the free throw line. Cunningham and the Pistons are set to host the Washington Wizards on Thursday night at 7 p.m. in Little Caesars Arena. Ending in Italy, the Winter Olympics start February 6th in Milano and Cortina, Italy. There are going to be 16 events during this year's Olympics, including some new events and over 116 medals that are going to be handed out. A new event is snow mountaineering, which involves climbing up a hill, then skiing back down. The official start time for opening ceremonies is set for 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Athletes to keep your eyes out for include Lindsey Vonn and Michaela Schifrin in alpine ski events, and national hockey players are coming back to compete for the first time since 2014. That's all I have for sports. Now back to the desk.
Thank you, Emma, for that sports update. Now moving on into our statewide news. The Trump administration is reducing the number of immigration officers in Minnesota. This is after the recent tensions in the state. About 700 federal officers will be withdrawn immediately after the state and local officials agreed over the past week. Although the officials are being withdrawn, Border Cesar Tom Homan did not provide a timeline for when the administration might end the operation. ICE officials have said the surge in Minnesota ramped up dramatically in early January and is the largest immigration operation ever. A wide-out pullout will only occur after protesters stop interfering with federal agents, Homan said. Homan also made it clear that pulling a chunk of the federal officers out of the state isn't a sign that the administration is backing down. 5 individuals received awards on Monday from the Michigan Department of Natural Resources. DNR Conservation Officer Jennifer Lento Hansen and Zach Painter, MSP Trooper Paul Mitnowski, Great Lakes Indian Fish and Wildlife Commissioner Captain Steve Amsler, and Susan Barrett will be recognized. They'll be recognized for their quick and effective actions that saved an angler's life when breaking through the ice of Lake Gogebic in March 2024. The law enforcement officers received life-saving awards, and Barrett will receive an Outstanding Citizen Award. The DNR wants to remind everyone that when on the ice or near it, that there is no specific ice thickness deemed to be safe. Keep ice picks in an accessible spot and check the ice for yourself. And the short-lived government shutdown is over this morning, with President Trump signing several funding bills into law. But the future of the Department of Homeland Security is still a question as lawmakers demand reforms. Meanwhile, President Trump is raising eyebrows among Republicans and Democrats after saying Republicans should nationalize elections, a job the Constitution gives to the states. CBS Jared Hill has more.
President Trump is doubling down on his call to nationalize elections 8 months before the midterms.
The federal government should get involved.
Listing a number of cities and states where he says the feds should swoop in.
Take a look at Detroit. Take a look at Pennsylvania. Take a look at Philadelphia. You go take a look at Atlanta. Look at some of the places that horrible corruption on elections.
Multiple agencies have found the accusations of widespread 2020 voter fraud to be unfounded. The president's suggestion raising alarm bells among some Democrats.
Have one political party take over that process. This provides a huge danger to our country going forward.
Republicans maintain the president only meant he supports a bill requiring voter IDs nationwide.
That signifies ensuring that only citizens of this country vote in our elections.
The president's comments as he signed multiple bills into law ending the government shutdown. But the Department of Homeland Security only funded for 2 weeks as Democrats demand reforms to immigration and customs enforcement operations after agents killed 2 protesters in Minneapolis last month.
Every DHS agent everywhere should have a body camera.
This week, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem announced agents will wear body cams in Minneapolis. Roving patrols will also be curtailed.
They're wanting to make sure that immigration enforcement is done safely and smartly and efficiently.
But Democrats say they want these changes codified into law. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Don't go anywhere. We'll have a weather update for you in a few minutes.
Engulfed by jungle, an enduring enigma, Angkor Wat.
The engineering is unbelievable.
It's fascinating and frustrating.
Because secrets lay hidden.
It mysteriously was abandoned.
Now Nova searches for answers.
Good old-fashioned dirt archaeology with new technologies.
The LiDAR data is absolutely mind-blowing.
Angkor, Hidden Jungle Empire on Nova.
Tonight at 9 on WNMU TV.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Kenneth Hickmott, here to give you your weather forecast for today. Taking a look at the sky cam, we can see that we do have some clouds starting to part away and some blue sky starting to come into our sky. Taking a look at the current temperatures across the state, we see Houghton at 23 and cloudy, Ironwood at 20 and cloudy, Iron Mountain 23 and partly cloudy, so some sun peeking through, as well as Menominee at 24 and partly cloudy. Taking a look at the eastern side of the state, we see Escanaba at 26 and partly cloudy, Manistique 23 and partly cloudy, Sault Ste. Marie at 13 and cloudy, and here in Marquette it is currently 21 and cloudy. Taking a deeper look into the weather conditions today, we see that the winds are coming in from the west and are about 6 miles per hour, and our barometric pressure is 30.29 inches and rising, and falling, my bad. It is currently going to be cloudy tonight with a low of 10, with winds coming in from the south at about 5 to 10 miles per hour, and the moon phase tonight is going to be a waning gibbous. Taking a look at the conditions tomorrow, we can see the sun's going to peek through tomorrow, mostly cloudy with a high of 31 and a low of 28, with winds coming in from the south at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Taking a look at the conditions through our weekend, we see Friday, it's going to be a high of 30 and a low of 2, very big difference, partly cloudy. Saturday, high of 17 and a low of 10 with partly cloudy. And Sunday, a high of 26 and a low of 17 and partly cloudy. That's it for the weather. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Kenneth, for that weather update. How are you feeling about the Olympics?
You know, I'm really excited that they're in Italy this year, and I think it's really interesting that they're adding some new sports into it.
I am really intrigued by these new sports. I'm really excited to be seeing the NHL players back as well. I feel like it's going to lead to a really good competition.
I kind of want to do that one where we go up the hill. But that's all the time we have at Public Eye News. I'm Bianca Kroll.
And I'm Emma Ross.
We'll see you next time.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.